And look at Randy Orton slithering.
Oh, watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out!
KO! Here's the cover.
Hey, what's up everyone, and we're back here today with another video. This time in a tank that, excuse me, isn't really featured that often here, for probably okay reasons. With the E50M Tier 10 German medium tank, the first Tier 10 German medium tank that was added to the game quite a while ago. But why don't you see this tank much? Honestly, because in my opinion, it's rather mediocre. If I'm completely honest, it's not a bad tank, but in this stage of the game in 2020, it's very in need of some love. And as you can see, this was taken from the wonderful True Vision event. Not going to get into that. Don't need to cause any more rants on that. But just so you're aware, this did take place during the first test, actually. So, yeah. Anyways, off topic, and that will be just, yeah, a roller coaster if we keep going down that. So, instead, focus on the gameplay. Why do I think this tank's mediocre? Well, it's a tank that really relies a lot on the armor, and truth be told, 5 years ago, yeah, the armor may have been pretty good. Nowadays, at Tier 10 and even Tier 9 tanks, the armor kind of gets butchered, especially the turret face. It's not that hard to pen, as we shut down the Tusk there as he's rolling on through. That is the one very nice part of this tank, at least from my perspective, is the gun. It's pretty much laser accurate for the most part in my experience with it. Now, it does have pretty limited DPM potential. It's not that great. It's rather middle of the pack to lower part of the pack in terms of DPM for Tier 10 medium tanks, honestly. And just looking at the numbers, duh. But with the 390 alpha and the laser accuracy, even in 600 meters, that we're at right now, that this is no issue. We're honestly just able to just put shots into these guys from miles away. Not miles away, but you know what I mean. As we're just pretty much doing the sniper thing right here, taking advantage of them just crossing in the open. I would rather be on that side almost, but not in this tank. Again, it doesn't have great maneuverability, so there's kind of dogfights with all these real fast-moving light tanks and medium tanks. This thing would really suffer. I'd rather be in this kind of brawling scenario rather than that other fight. And this is what it does pretty well, as you get the 279E, a slight nudge there for about over 300 damage. Fortunately, we don't roll really high enough to kill him, and even if we face hug him, that's kind of an issue with this thing. It just doesn't have any turret armor. It's very, very weak in that department. So anything at Tier 10, Tier 9, and even some Tier 8s, even without Prem, can really go through the turret front of the E50M, which is a pretty big issue, if you ask me, for a tank that is kind of broadcasted as this brawling medium tank. At the armor is got this kind of real glaring weak spot, minus the lower plate, and the lower plate's huge on this as well. So honestly, the upper plate's the only really good part about the armor. It does side score pretty well also, but again, it's okay. Another redeeming quality of it, though, is the pen. Along with the laser accuracy, you do get 270 pen on the APCR, which just butchers things. I'm not even really aiming for a weak spot on the 268. I'm pretty positive I can just go right through him anywheres. And you saw earlier I went right through the upper plate of the 279E while aiming down on it. That's usually a target that gives you most tanks quite an issue with, even in that kind of scenario there. So that's all good with me. This game has really not been going our way so far. We're up with Petty in this game. He's in the Chisel, which is a much better all-around medium tank at Tier 10 in this day and age, even after it got slightly nerfed a while back, earlier this year. But so far, we're trying to just mop up these guys on the right side. That's where all our team is. We know they have a horde of mediums coming around our base, and while both of us could probably go back and defend that, my kind of goal in this scenario was just try to mop up this guy real quick. Don't be lazy. Just aim. Don't RBRT. And just push through and then go back towards our base very quickly and just help these guys just mop this up so we don't have any tanks left that are behind us if we try to defend the base. So we know where all their tanks are at, and they're, sure enough, all their mediums are at our base. And right now there's 2 of them on the gap. I'm going to go the low road just because this thing really doesn't have great power uphill. It does have a great engine. Relatively speaking, you can get this thing pretty quick downhill, and even on flat terrain, as we're hitting about 50 kph there. But it's got all that armor, so as soon as you hit a hill, yeah, we're slowing down pretty well here. And then we get spotted by the 13105. Petty's already got shots on the cap. He's telling me that basically right now that he's okay. He's got the cap, even with 10 seconds left. Okay, I'm gonna trust Petty here. Take his word for it. We saw the 13105 drop down, and we're gonna do a little bleh and send him back to the garage there with a nice little touch. That is the other third best thing about this tank, is that with the armor and the speed, it does ram really well, and the tier 9 E50 does as well. And that's kind of that's the fun part of this tank. If you do get the ram stuff, honestly, it's just a brute. Like that 13105, even without shooting him, I would have probably killed him. No, I would have killed him by ramming there. It's not probably anything about it. I would have definitely killed him, but just by ramming. Only reason I shot him was just in case he maneuvered around enough that at least I can get a shot into him and secure him with another shot rather than that. But 48 Patton, we'll ram him too. That's our third tank we rammed. And then the Progetto thinks he's all that and hot stuff. We shut him down. PTA is the only tank left on their team. We've already got 6 kills, 6,500 damage this game. Don't quite have the speed. I wanted to ram him as well. Unfortunately, he's a little too fast for us, but does get tracked, so we do give him another little love tap. Get a little bit of ramming damage. Try to ram him to death. Not quite enough. One more would have done it, but Petty finishes him off, and that's the end of that. Very quick game. Nothing crazy. I was going to do a slightly longer video for today, but I don't think I'd make it through a 25-minute video. I'd be very tired sounding, honestly. So, quick game in the E50M that I've had for quite a bit. 1700 base, 6 kills to the Top Gun, Brothers in Arms with Petty, and 7,500 damage. So, very nice result in a tank that's kind of and now in today's kind of meta, but can still be a solid option if you get the right matchup. So, as you watch my capture card go to crap, hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll catch you next time. See ya. Peace.